So, funny thing. I ended up hitting record on that other video. One of the first things I said is, I hit record and I don't know what to say. And then I talked for nearly 45 minutes. So, afterwards I got up and got a drink, came back and edited the video, put it on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to play through the rest of the mod. I'm just going to keep talking, see where it takes me. So in case you're wondering, I don't really have a, I don't have a list of things to say or things I want to accomplish here. I'm just going to talk and play a bit. I do have some, larger things that I do want to get accomplished. But also speaking of, in the last video I said about the RPG, there it is. So hopefully you went and played the mod already, and you're not just watching the video, ruining the surprise for yourself. Also, you'll see me stop talking and just walk every now and then, just looking at how things are set up in the mod. It's very interesting playing through. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, how has no one seen that no draw? That's insane. Okay, no. That's... What? No. There's... Something happened, because there's no way that no one... Nah, we're fixing that right now. That's insanity. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up the third map. Is that the third map, or are we still on the second map? We're on the second map. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're just going to run over there. What is that no draw from? That had to have been, like, just recently that someone messed that up accidentally. Alright, we're just going to hide that. Unhide. Okay, so this is an example of where this creator just did the silliest things. Like, this not being one solid wall is funny to me. And here's a hallway where it's just... Okay. It's just so funny to me. Like, why would you... Why would you do it like this? I don't understand. How? Like, what else does this... I'm just going to hide it again. Well, this video turned out way differently already, because that's insanity. Okay, we're going to unhide it. What is going on? That's... And you notice, too, that, like, each one of these... Not to mention that they conflict with each other, but, like... Well, that's not at all what I wanted to click. I want to click on the big no draw. Because even if I do this, and I hide it, that's hiding the top layer. Like, the creator of this mod just did so many strange things. Like, okay. Why is that? Alright, you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm just going to grab you. And I should actually, like, zoom in and do this properly. Not that I know how to do things properly, because I'm a complete nub at Hammer. But that looks good to me, to my eye, at least. Does that at least... Okay. There are so many funny triggers, too, where, like, they don't cover the entire area. Like some of these are fine. And there's ones like this where, like, I remember that trigger had to be resized. But there's some triggers where, like, the creator obviously intended for the person to go through the trigger. That's, you know, the point of a trigger is to have something happen after you activate the trigger. But then the trigger will be just the wrong size where you can just slip right past it. And it's beyond funny to me. Okay, so no leaks. That's good. That is so funny. But again, this is why you test things, because you might have a giant hole in your wall and you might not even realize it. That's so funny. That is so stinking funny. All right, well, we're going to continue playing after being interrupted with that. Here's another funny room where the doors are just the wrong size. I love it. This one, it looks like the creator actually did copy and paste things. Things are much better aligned as I say that. Oh my goodness gracious. Over here, they're well aligned. Wait, what's that look like in Hammer? Because we were just in that room. Oh, no. Oh, no. There was a saying between Meadow and I. Every time we open this mod, or every time we open it up in Hammer, we find a new issue. Which I think part of that goes to show just how little we pay attention to things sometimes. You know, when things just work, and yes, I am being lazy just copying that. I don't care. So it doesn't help that I don't really know what the heck I'm doing in Hammer still. Oh, see? Immediately I'm already screwing up. That's the wrong axis completely. I probably have to go from the top view. That would make sense, huh? See, this is why, kids, you should, like, follow guides and learn from them instead of doing what I'm doing. That is so funny, though, that there's just this giant hole in the ceiling. I wonder, I mean, it fits, well, darn near perfectly. I say it's not quite there. But I wonder if the creator made this and then copied it over there and then just forgot the top part. That would actually be quite funny. See, and it doesn't quite snap to the grid. Well, that's not even the right... What am I looking at here? Am I looking at the other side? I was looking at the other side. Okay. I will refine this later. I'm just going to save that. There we go. That's good enough. That is so funny. I love that. Do I have a grenade? Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Beautiful. Every time I open this mod, every time I open Hammer, I find more and more problems. That's a good one. Also, some of you might be looking at this texture and going like, why is there like a cushion texture on the ceiling? What is going on? That texture shows up a lot as ceilings in Half-Life 2. As far as I'm aware, in this mod, this is the only room with this texture, but, I mean, gamers also don't look up. And they also don't look down, apparently. So, I really don't know. And even once I feel like I'm quote-unquote done with this mod, I'm still going to have to do it on a full compile. Because, like, you'll notice things like this room. The lighting's all messed up, but that's because I did a fast compile. So this is not indicative of how the mod's going to look, you know, when it ships anyways. I'm saying ships as if it's, like, literally being put in a box and sold in stores. But you know what I mean. When I publish it. So here's another funny one. I love this, because that was very obviously a path into this building. And then he just deleted the funny door that he made and then just put this cement texture on it and just called it a day. Like, if this was, like, a normal random video game, you'd be like, this is a fake wall. I have to knock this down and get a free item. But, nope, not here. So, funny little thing about this guy. The map creator decided that this scanner is essential to moving forward. So you end up walking through here, and you're walking around, and you're trying to figure out where to go. And, you know, the obvious area is there and here. But you come over here, door doesn't open. All right. So his pathing... Oh, game is freezing. Don't do that. Good old Source. It's not a Source game if it's not freezing at random. But his pathing was not working too well, and he actually had a bit of a delay. I think it was a 10-second delay. So the trigger was in that doorway. You walk out, you come down, you come out here, and then 10 seconds after you leave that doorway, he comes from outside of the map over there, and he flies over and he comes at you. So what you, the player, don't know is that he is essential. So if you just ignore him, like the first time I played this mod, I just kind of went like this because I was like, get out of here. Like, I think I actually left-clicked just to knock him away. And then I tried going back in here, and I was like, maybe another door opened. Like, is there a switch that I missed? I don't know. And then it turns out his death is a trigger for this door to open. Which is quite amusing. So, once again, too, speaking of how we had that giant no draw in the wall, there was one here before. It went from about there to about here. And I didn't notice it until about a week ago when I was playing. And, like, I literally went in the room and I went like this, and I went, oh my goodness gracious. I'm like, how did no one see that? Like, what is happening? Well, again, gamers don't look up. And this is an area where, like, you walk in, there's enemies, you engage them, you walk out. And there is a spot where you end up walking back out, but you don't look up. Like, my view, you can tell, you don't really look up. So it was just highly amusing to me that there was this giant no draw in the middle of the map that no one saw. Not a single person. He just looks sad. He's shaking his head. I didn't know anyone would be here. I was supposed to have today off. Some people have mentioned to me in testing, they're like, what's with the floating AR2s and the SMGs and stuff? Like, why don't you fix that? I said, well, again, it was the original creator's intent, and I think it's kind of funny. It's charming. So this next room has a couple funny things. So number one, there was a decal on the other side of that wall that actually bled through the wall, and you could see it all through here. But it didn't show up on the other wall. So I had to learn some stuff in Hammer to fix that. This guy has a little segment that he does, and I can't figure out for the life of me how to get him to stop doing it and engage when you come into the room. So I come in, he does his little thing, the camera sees me, and then that starts the segment. But he will not do anything until you attack. Now, most players, they'll just come in, they'll just shoot, obviously. It's an enemy soldier, so they won't even notice. But I noticed, obviously. Another fun thing about this area, a couple fun things about this area. There used to be 3 windows here. So I did like this with this mod, is it actually has a lot of broken or breakable windows. But there used to be a 3rd one here, which you can see is a problem, because it leads into this area, which happens to be outside of the map. Oh, I better shut up and go upstairs. I need you to see this. Because I love this little sequence. This was another thing I had to fix, is this grenade was backwards originally. This sequence I actually did not have to touch. This actually works perfectly fine without any intervention on my end. Now, another thing, I believe it was Grub, one of the playtesters, that noticed that that camera downstairs that sees you, you could kill it. And then what would happen is it would retract into the ceiling, which happened to be right here, and it would just stick through the ceiling. You know, talking and playing is not my forte. I need to concentrate a little bit. Where's the rest of you? Alright. But yeah, so what I ended up doing is I just set that camera to not be killable. Which isn't ideal, but like, what else am I going to do? I don't know. Alright, now we can continue outside. This is one thing I like, too, about this this mod. Now, I killed a bunch of the people in the courtyard, but there's more. Now, what you can do, as the player, is you can continue running down that path. And you might notice this from the beginning of the mod, because this is actually where the background's from, this entire area. But you can run down there, and you can actually go through those double doors, and you can get to the end. Or you can take this little side path and get health that you don't need. Woohoo! But I just like these little side areas that this particular mod has. Even if they're a little silly. I know that there was a couple things in here that we had to fix. These stairs had to be fixed. I had to fix this wall in like 15 different areas because the door was wrong and there was a giant no draw down there, and I think there was an issue out here with the texturing or something like that. But I remember these doors opened up kind of goofy. I do find it funny that you're able to go into this courtyard, and there's just nothing here. You'd think there'd be at least like a couple crates or something, but that could be something we add in the Fortress Connected version when that goes on the workshop. Oh, all right. I'm like looking at the environment instead of paying attention to my surroundings. It's going to be the death of me. This is another room where I felt like it was... there could have been more done here. Like, this room was very cool. I remember having to align a few things in here. I think some of these pods were sticking out. No, that wasn't here. I did have to align something in here. I just don't remember what. It might have been these things. Whatever. And then this monitor, I remember, was sticking out to, like, here. So I had to move it back. Even though it's still kind of funny because it shows the top at the bottom. Oh, when you zoom in, it shows a different camera. I'm seeing this for the first time. That's great. I love that. That's awesome. Again, every time I boot this mod, I find more stuff. That is one funny thing I've thought about, too, with how much time I've spent in this mod and, like, other people have spent, is, you know, people that work on this kind of stuff, they spend a lot of time in these mods, way more than the average user, and they still end up missing things all over the place. I believe there was a health kit down here that I can grab. Funny thing about this mod is Metal's joked a few times about them not having any playtesters, but the original mod does list 4 playtesters. But depending on, you know, the person's personality and, you know, who they are, what stage of life they're in, how mature they are, etc. You know, you'll get all kinds of, you know, responses for things. So I do wonder if they gave any actual feedback, or if they did give feedback, how much feedback there was. And, you know, what this mod would look like before playtesting. Like, was all the issues that I found, like, 1/10 of the original problems? Or did they play the mod and they said, hey, this looks good? I don't know. And again, you know, you'll notice that I'm, like, just looking up and, you know, like, people don't play like this, but I do. Because I'm specifically looking for issues now. And you'll see things like this where it's like, oh man, that's an issue. Well, that's probably because of the fast file. That has nothing to do with the actual mod itself. Did I still not get that? How about thread the needle? Oh yeah. I remember when Metal saw these stairs too. He's like, no. And I said, yes, it's funny. I love it. It's quirky. Now, one thing is this mod did not originally have this door here. I added this door because I'm very much new to this whole hammer thing. And I had a playtester who in this next map, because this goes into the third map, he got very confused. And he ended up circling around and coming back into the second map. And he said, oh, crap, you better go back into the third map. So he did. When he did, all of the prisoners disappeared. All of the Combine disappeared. And it broke the scripting, because there's a Combine that only comes out after you kill a couple Combine, which you'll see. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out why. So I just went ahead and put in a door that closes behind you. Also, funny face. It's just a little Easter egg. There's actually another Easter egg here if you turn around. See, and it makes the door lock sound. Because that's my picture on Discord. I might change that. I don't know. Like, at least the drawing looks like someone could have graffitied on the wall. That just doesn't look right, but... Anywho. Yeah, the player I talked about, he went up, he goes through here, you drop down, you end up through this room, and then he came out of this door, and he went, oh, and then he went over this way and walked through the door, ended up in the second map. So I'm not exactly sure how that occurred where all of the NPCs disappeared. Very, very, very odd. But that's what happened, so... Oh my goodness gracious, these stairs. I have to talk about those stairs in a minute. Well, Gordon Freeman. Fun fact, those guys run away and then they despawn immediately afterwards. That's not what I want to pick up. Did I get all of you? I thought there was like a couple more of you. Guess not. Well, that didn't hit you. Let me try that again. I've noticed this guy gets confused, and I'm not sure why, but you can see, depending on my position, he'll switch around. He doesn't do this if you run up the stairs normally and engage him. But, again, I cannot for the life of me figure out why he does what he does. The only thing I can think is maybe there's not an additional ground nodes, and so he doesn't like have enough room after he comes out. But he does normally stand his ground here, and he shoots at you. So, I'm not really sure. Fun little skip here. If anybody ever ends up doing a speed run, that's very simple. And actually, if you backwards back hop or backwards bunny hop, it's very easy to get here, and then that's actually towards the goes towards the end of the map, which is fun. In the FC version, I'm probably just gonna copy and paste this guy over here, delete that part, put that part there. But again, I do like giving players freedom, so I left that in there. These stairs are hilarious. I love these stairs because this is another one where the mod creator built it, brick by brick, as it were. I did have to put that one in the ground a little bit, and a lot of them I had to painstakingly realign. And actually now I'm noticing how much of a gap there is at the top. But you couldn't sprint. Well, I guess you still can't sprint. You couldn't sprint up the stairs in the original. And even if you walked, it would kind of do this hopping thing, like every couple steps. So I fixed that. I painstakingly figured out how to make it so that these prisoners don't try to follow you and become part of your squad. Yes, you. I'm talking about you. Because you can't save them. It's just, you go through, you're doing your thing. It's a very simple source mod. This area, I still find it funny that these spikes sticking out, they all had physics. So, like, when you tried to get in, you had to, like, squeeze between all of this, where I just made them have no physics, so the player can just fall down like normal. I can't remember why, but this camera specifically was crashing people before. That was fixed. But another funny camera. This one I did align... Did I align? No, I didn't touch this one. Yeah, I might have to try to resize that and align it a little bit better, because that looks bad. The creator, though, he liked to have these cameras that would just jut out from the computers, and he also liked to have the computers like half sticking out of the wall. But yeah, like this one sticking out of the wall, that one does not. As for instance, he also really likes floating weapons, but it looks cool. So, and you can see too that they're not even aligned with one another towards the wall, because this guy, he just brick by brick created everything, and it's insane to think about how much effort the mod creator could have saved if they, if they just snapped things to grid and they did it that way. So, like, some cameras like this, I did allow for you to be able to destroy, because you can't access the area above it. But, yeah, so this is where that one tester went like this, which I can definitely see. You come out, and you don't even see that doorway. Your eyes are just kind of naturally guided over this way with the light. So, that's why I put in the door, and then you can't get through. I don't believe there's any health over here. This was another thing people complained about. They're like, why are these actually like physics objects? But you can actually take these and chuck them at the Combine, which I think is kind of fun. She said the thing. Incursion warning. This gate I tried to realign, but you can see that it's all kinds of silly. So I didn't do a whole lot with it. These Combine also run and immediately despawn. Is he still there? Oh, I missed him. There's a Combine that'll actually be watching you through here, but then he walks away at the end. Had some problems with him too, where he wouldn't despawn. So when you got to that room later, which actually it's not even on the normal path, so most people wouldn't run into it, but when you would get on the path, he would just be still staring out the window. But even if you attacked him, he would not respond. I think that's been probably half the fun of it too. Like, going through these Hammer, or these maps in Hammer, and seeing how the original creator set things up, and trying to figure out why half the time too, just because there was a lot of silly things, which I'll talk about that a bit here in this next room. Oh. Jump? No? Oh, there you are. I'm blind. I actually don't have my glasses on. I should have them on, but oh well. So this room was funny because that, and at least half of these had a key value on them where if you didn't do 1,000 damage in one shot, they wouldn't break. So, which is pretty funny to have like half of them do that and half of them not. So what I thought to do is, if someone goes through and, barrels through the crates like I just did, I just set up this little area with the filing cabinet and the newspaper, the cup of coffee, the chair, and the table. So you can just put the table over here and put the filing cabinet on top. Even if you don't have any boxes, you'll still be able to go past. Because I wanted to give the player a way to get up with indestructible items, which obviously the original creator also wanted. But they kind of did it in a silly way, using crates and making the crates not be able to take damage. What on earth? I swear, a lot of these node draws did not exist before. All right, well, back to map 3 real quick. That's insane. That's funny. All right, where the heck are we? We're not here yet. Spoilers. We are here. So there's a... Oh my goodness gracious. Well, what are you? You're just a wall. Okay. Someone had to have accidentally just clicked the wrong texture and make it a no draw when they were fixing something else. That must have been it. Because there's no way that we didn't catch that one before. I'm probably coping, but... That's so funny. You know what, I was actually going to release the mod today, but I think I'm going to find a couple more playtesters, because obviously there's still some issues. I mean, I could always release an update, obviously, but I don't really want to. So this is one of those things where I say that I really like the way that this guy designed the maps. Because a lot of Half-Life 2 campaign maps, there's one path, and there might be like a side room, you know, a little side room, but not much else. But here, you can actually go back, and there's this whole extra area. And I'll wait for him to get close. But there's health, there's ammo. Actually, is there? Yeah, that room looks okay. Yep, no draws. That's good. This room actually had a bunch of pipes jutting out that I fixed just last night. I never noticed that the doorway does that. That's funny. This is actually where earlier we were running down there when we saw the Combine run like this. They come in here, they turn around, and they despawn. But yeah, so as I was saying though, I do like that this map creator, he decided to flesh out a bit of the world and you know, have extra areas that aren't directly on the path. I do kind of wish that he would have added like in you know, actual Nova Prospect, there were, you know, some of these doors where they would have a Lambda symbol and you could knock it open and get some more supplies. Like this room, for instance, that would have been a perfect one. To have that closed, have the light on inside so you know something's going on with the Lambda symbol. But, I think I said, like, yeah, all those blocks were indestructible. So actually, when you came up here, you had to pick up everything and just throw it to the side, because none of these could be broken. Because you had to do more than 1,000 damage in one hit to have it take place. Oh. Yep, so you see those Combine run, and then they don't engage you. I believe they actually do stay back there and fight you later. But they might despawn. I'm not actually sure. Very funny architecture. Just very odd decisions. So you notice this door we'll go into later. You can't go into there yet. And then this door you also can't get into. Let's see if I can do it right on the first try. Nope. Fucked up. But you can get through there, and then that'll actually allow you to run to the end of the map, too, if you wanted to avoid everything. I really like this arena area. And by the way, there's a hidden RPG in this picture. Can you find it? Nothing actually happens until you hit a certain trigger, but that actually gives you, the player, a little bit of time to set things up. So I'll do a little bit of that. I'm trying to remember where else they come down. I think a couple of them jump down here. I'll just put one there. I'll just kind of keep a pile of them over here. And by the way, that is the first crossbow in the entire mod. Whole lot of supplies. Don't need most of them right now. I actually put in my patch notes last night. Did some light plumbing work because a lot of these sinks were floating about 5 inches off the wall. I also moved those to look a little bit more natural on that side. And that one I don't think I touched at all, actually. Because, yeah. And again, at this point, with freshening up the source mod, I'm very much winding down. You know, for the source mod version, I feel like I'm pretty much where I want to be. Obviously not with some things, because, you know, you saw a couple node draws that I didn't catch before, and some other small issues that I've fixed along the way. So this next area, it was actually one of the first things that I changed on map 3. I'm still not sure if I'm going to put it back or not. I felt like this hallway should be more of a threat, because there's a mounted gun, obviously. And, you know, you come through here, and you can't quite see the thing if you're running through. But then Combine come out, and they get on the mounted gun. But the mod creator only had one Combine in that area. And there were other Combine in the area, but I think that they were just, like, set to never spawn. So I set them to spawn immediately. So they're actually right back there right now. They're already there because of a previous trigger. But I'll play this through and I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so like that stops. And it's a little tacky, but you know, you can just sit here with the crossbow if you want to. Well, you know, unless they shoot you. Yeah, that's the end of them. Nope, okay. Oh, there's metal again. Yeah, jump down, go ahead. I don't think they want to. That's kind of funny. They're smarter than I gave them credit for, I guess. Oh yeah, this area is very bright. I forgot about how bright that gets. I like that effect, though. Especially for players that aren't paying attention. That very much gets your attention. Oh! Like, immediately. Speaking of attention, I should be paying more attention. That's how it goes. Wow, that just disappeared. This was another area where I'm fairly certain the creator of the mod intended for these doors to open so that you could go back to the first area with the funny staircase. But he never said it, and there's really no point to allowing the player to go back. I mean, you know, maybe for supplies. But I didn't want to confuse players, so I left that as is. And this is where we jump to at the beginning of the mod. And then those are actually empty from the get-go, so I didn't bother to put anything in there. One funny thing, too, with this creator is he really likes tall rooms, very high ceilings. Alright, this one doesn't do the funny camera change because there's only one camera, I guess. And I'll save here because I wanted to show you that this door opens now. And now you can go into this room. Which this room, oh boy, there's so many things. Like the posters go into the floor. I fixed the shotguns. The wire just kind of hangs off quite a bit, goes through the wall. That texture, for whatever reason, it's funny. But, and again, this is from compiling on fast. This will look better when I actually compile the map properly. But, yeah, we're going to try this one more time. So, yeah, when this is shut earlier, you can do this, and then you can sneak on through just like that. And then you get to the very end of the mod, which this was a funny area too, because I haven't touched any of the fences here. They're all sorts of misaligned, and the rails go everywhere, but it doesn't hinder the player, it doesn't cause problems. So, that light was floating like a foot off the ground originally. This next area where you actually rescue Alex, it actually used to activate even if you didn't kill the Combine. Like, so if you, like, ABH'd back there, she'd say, Gordon! And then it would roll credits, you'd still have your HUD, and you could hear yourself getting killed, which was endlessly hilarious to me. Wow. That didn't go like I intended. I just wanted to throw one of them. Okay, I need to stop goofing around. Ah! Okay. What am I doing with my life right now? Yeah, and so originally, too, it would, we also had it, I'm gonna stop sound. We had it where the map would end immediately. Alex would do her little thing, and then it would roll credits. But a lot of players shoved their faces into the shield here and to the wall, and it would roll credits, and all you'd hear is. Bzz. But yeah, fixed that. Fixed a whole bunch of things with this last area, and then it rolls credits. And there's another funny face. And then roll credits, which I still need to update the credits because there's a lot more people than what you see here that were involved. Off the top of my head, I don't believe I put Argonian for the help with the zombie code, and I don't think I put Gordon Freakman on here for the help with the zooming in code. Yeah, then Metal, I wrote map help / feedback. He's done a lot more than that. And he also play tested. And I'm just going to watch this through because I'm pretty sure that I got the timing right between Hammer and etc. So there's the original creator, Bertram Cho, and then the testers. So they did have 4 testers originally. And I believe that Jasper is the same Jasper that helped Leon test his mods back in the day. And unfortunately, if it's the same Jasper, he passed away back in the early 2010s. But, so that was Lambda Incursion Redux. I don't really have much else to say. Well, I guess I do have one thing to say. I can't figure out for the life of me how to get it to do the map background here instead of the Biomass Productions, which I'm assuming Biomass Productions is the original creator's like group that he made, but I'm actually not sure. I still need to do more some more research on that. So, yeah, this has been a journey of about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, going from, oh, here's a funny video on YouTube of a weird source mod I've never heard of, to now getting ready to publish a quote-unquote Redux version. It's pretty interesting, but again, you know, I want to... I want to try to put some effort into preserving source mods. And even though, like, the first time I said source mods, you know, people might be like, well, what about other mods? And what about things that aren't source? And what about games? Yes, of course. But I'm concentrating on source mods right now. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Even these maps, I'm going to be working on getting it on the HL2 workshop. I want to get it on the Gmod workshop. Of course, the first version is going to be on ModDB. Synergy as well, possibly. I do want to help Metal, because Metal, average Metal enjoyer, that is, he wants to make a version for Fortress Connected that's multiplayer oriented. So I don't know if I should put my efforts into that and then adapt that to Synergy. Although for reasons I won't get into now, I've kind of given up hope with Synergy as a whole, unfortunately. But yeah, so that was Lambda Incursion Redux. I hope that you had fun watching these videos of me rambling. I hope you download the mod and play it. If you find any issues, let me know. of course. If there's like little issues, I'm not going to do much. Like the textures, like a lot of the textures don't align. I left it like that on purpose. But obviously, the giant holes in the wall because of the node draws that came out of nowhere, those are an issue. Those need fixed. That would definitely suffice for doing an update and releasing a version 2. But I'm hoping to get that all done hopefully today. We'll see. I might give it a couple more days for the because there are a few people I would like to have possibly play test this. So thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time. Bye bye.